I mean, we sort of need to start with George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead, and what a masterpiece that is, and the social commentary that exists within. I mean, it is one of the greatest films ever made, and one of the greatest trilogies.
Yeah, the modern zombie movie was created by Romero, and very much tied in with his reputation for counterculture. For those not familiar with Romero, he's really renowned for working on limited budgets and being able to convey quite biting social commentary through horror motifs. He had a really special energy about his films, and Night of the Living Dead is a great example of him at his very best. The opening scenes, which are incredibly shot, they reminded me a lot of, as we discussed in episode 29 on John Ford, how the horizon it should always be at the top or the bottom to make the frame interesting, to make the shot interesting, and if it's in the middle, it's boring. And Orson Welles very much took that from John Ford, and Romero said a lot of the shots in Night of the Living Dead were inspired by Orson Welles' Citizen Kane. So Citizen Kane was a big influence on the film. But Romero also then said he was quite raw in terms of his filmmaking skill at the time, and he didn't even know things such as shooting for line of sight, which is when the actors look across effectively diagonally and they're a little bit off where the opposite actor actually is, but it matches when you put the shot and reverse shot together. So he was kind of shooting off the line, which gives it this sort of unbalanced energy throughout, and it's really effective actually, and it shows how even mistakes can make cinema language really quite unique. I found that quite fascinating. And then alongside something as sophisticated as depth of field long takes and wide shots from Kane, it's quite an amazing amalgam of techniques. Romero, I don't hide my admiration for him. I'm a big fan, and I love the rawness, the satire of his films. He did make 5 more zombie films after Night of the Living Dead, unless, maybe we could consider The Crazies a zombie film in some ways. Maybe that's for another day, perhaps. But there were 2 effective Dead trilogies. The first is admittedly the far superior. That's Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, and Day of the Dead. And then there's the lesser trilogy, which is Land of the Dead, which I have time for, and I think is a bit unfairly maligned. That was followed by Diary of the Dead and Survival of the Dead, and unfortunately diminishing returns, really. But overall, the films still resonate with a critical assessment of society and how the trappings of civilization only mask our true natures. And few filmmakers really are so witty, prescient, and resourceful as Romero. And he set the standard for really what we consider the zombie horror. It's all born from $117,000 movie. I think that was the budget of Night of the Living Dead. Wow. But on a side note, Romero never coined the word zombie, and the flesh eaters in Night of the Living Dead are referred to as ghouls. And the word zombie was really attached by other people, and it's become a cultural phenomenon really of its own accord. But it's all been born out of this claustrophobic tiny chamber piece that's certainly brilliantly made, but was a very raw piece of cinema.
Just the name Night of the Living Dead just has entered the popular lexicon, hasn't it? And in a way that even people that don't know the film, haven't seen the film, will probably get the reference. I mean, it's even referenced as a joke in Friends about Night of the Living Dead Christmas trees, and just the term Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, it's kind of been played on sometimes in some of the films that we're going to talk to later.